Welcome back already to the final segment of The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Obamacare is already here. We're already beginning to see the effect. Entrepreneurs, they're not like logs of wood. When attacked with an axe, like Obamacare really is on the profits of businesses, they'll either take flight or they will fight. How do you like that? Must be Monday, the way my tongue is bobbing here this morning. I got Melissa Rascon. She's a CPA with Oman, Berry, and Associates. They're watching very closely what's happening with Obamacare. Delighted to have you on the program, Melissa. Welcome.
Thank you. Hello. Welcome.
Good to see you. All right, real quickly, talk about what you do over there for Oman, Berry.
Well, I'm the senior tax manager there, and I oversee most of our clients, and we provide tax compliance, which are tax return preparation services, tax consulting, tax planning, and we also have some international clients that we work on as well with all of that.
Mm-hmm. What percentage of your business is business rather than individual?
Oh, we have a lot of entrepreneurial clients, so I would probably say about 70% of our clients are businesses.
And what's the typical range of the size of businesses you work with?
Oh, we have from the very small that earn maybe, 100 grand, 200 grand in revenue to 25 million to 50 million.
And how many people do you have at in your firm?
We have currently about 4 people.
Mm-hmm. How big of an impact is this Obamacare having on your clients?
Well, our clients are very concerned and trying to prepare for the oncoming shared responsibility piece of the act, which starts in 2014. But it's with a look back rule, meaning that it is based on what you're doing in 2013. Everyone is trying to understand whether they're considered a large employer or not with regard to all of that. And not also the act also affects our individual clients with the onset of the Medicare tax and the additional Medicare tax of the 0.9% and the 3.8%.
Yeah. Let me ask you, what is the magic number, if you will, to where you're going to be in terms of number of employees as an employer that you're going to find yourself potentially hit hard by Obamacare?
If you hit 50 full-time employees, and that definition is pretty fluid. It's not very concrete as any employee that works 40-plus hours a week.
Yeah, and they're trying to change it daily. My understanding is that it went from 40 to 30, and now they're talking like 28.
Well, it's still at, you're talking about 40 hours?
To define whether or not they're full-time or not.
Well,
the Department of Labor is trying to keep on adjusting that lower and lower to force employers to say, hey, they're your responsibility, not ours.
Right. And I think what people don't understand is that the full-time equivalent employees are those that average 30 hours a week, but even those that work even 15 hours a week can be included in that calculation, which means you can have 2 employees working an average of 15 hours a week, and they're equal to 1 full-time employee averaging 30 hours a week.
Unbelievable. It
so
really
you can
is.
have 100 part-time employees working 15 hours a week that will get you to that 50, that large employer status.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So how many employees are seriously looking at letting employees go in order to make sure that they're not hit too hard?
They're reducing hours, and I wouldn't say necessarily letting go, but they are being conscious about the hours that they're allowing their employees to work.
I do understand that a lot of employers, this is one of the reasons why staff leasing companies are now kind of exploding, is because they're just saying, hey, I would rather you have that liability. Sure, I'll be paying a little bit more, but at least it'll be a clean, specific amount, and you'll have the liability problems, not me. Talk about that.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I was bringing that up just the other day, and that, I think we're probably going to see a big shift in contract employees, just to mitigate the risk of falling into that large employer role, particularly those that own more than one business, such as restaurant owners and the like. And also, what people don't really understand as well are the constructive ownership rules of between you and your spouse and even other family members that you go into business with, that you can potentially own or include their ownership as well with regard to determining whether you have a large employer or not.
Yeah, and eventually your dogs and your cats could all be included. Does that dog bring the newspaper to the house? Guess what? It's just ridiculous. And the bottom line, though, the thing that I find most disturbing is that the number one problem still for the American people, in my opinion, is unemployment. That's the number one issue still. You know, you have still close to 20 million unemployed. You have to go back to the Great Depression to find these kind of numbers for a sustained period of time. Right. And everything about this policy is making people try to figure out how to do more with less employees.
Right. Right.
It seems very counterintuitive.
Yeah, you know, it's pretty distressing, especially when we're trying to recover from the economy, as you mentioned, that is in the place that we were in the Depression. Trying to recover from that, it just makes it much more harder because we cannot be free to get the employees that we want without fear of being penalized for not offering the health insurance that is required to be offered. Yeah,
I just read, I think it was yesterday, or actually last week, over at usdailyreview.com, they were talking about the fact that NFIB has pointed out that we saw in the month of May the biggest plummet in job creation among small business owners since 2009, which you know is when, you know, and so in spite of the fact we keep on hearing about these so-called positive numbers, I really believe that those smaller businesses in particular are beginning to react in a rather major way towards the fact that we are now halfway through 2013, and in 7 months, total pandemonium is going to break out when it comes to Obamacare.
Right. If not, it should start now because of the looking back rule with regard to, you know, what are you doing in 2013 that's going to be going to be determinate whether you are a large employer or not.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. It's just incredible. Melissa, I appreciate your time. Thanks for coming in. Melissa Rascon, she's with the CPA firm of Oman, Berry and Associates, and her website over there is Oman Berry. That's OMANBERRY.com. OmanBerry.com. Thanks for getting us up to date on what's happening with Obamacare, that looking back rule. I've heard that a little bit about that. I appreciate you going into more detail and kind of giving us a sense of what's happening with business owners out there as they try to navigate through this.
Sure,
thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to offer out there that we do offer free consultations to any of those that feel that maybe they're within that 50 employee area, that we can help them evaluate and help mitigate risk if possible.
OmanBerry.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. When we come back, we're going to have more for you on tomorrow's program. But I want you to spend the rest of the day right here listening to this great station.